Welcome to our webinar. First, we would like to acknowledge our sponsors, the Institute of the Blessed Mary, the Blessed Virgin Mary, Loreto, Viveti, International, and Dominicans. Welcome to day 7 of the 11 days of action. Today's topic for discussion is climate justice and how it contributes to the inequality for girls. Hi, my name is Bridget Lonergan. I'm from New Jersey, United States of America. I'm in 12th grade at Mount St. Dominic Academy, and in my free time, I like to play volleyball. I'm also the co-president of the Global Awareness Club.
Hi, my name is Isabel, and I'm originally from the United Kingdom, and now I live in the United States. I'm also the co-president of the Global Awareness Club in 12th grade at Mount St. Dominic Academy. In my free time, I like to play field hockey. Climate justice is a universal issue. 85% of the world's population lives in areas affected by climate change. This is in every single country on every continent. As stated by the UN, it is disrupting national economies, infecting billions of lives.
Climate change is a catalyst for gender inequality. Women are unable to escape their situation when the effects of climate change harm them firsthand. Examples being destroyed schools and houses, or the scarcity of resources. The key to bridging the gap between men and women is education, but extreme weather causes women to leave less time to explore their intellectual potential.
We see the effects of climate change in our own community through erratic weather patterns. This is a universal issue that we must all stand in solidarity to combat. The rate of global sea level rises is accelerating. It has more than doubled from 1.4 milliliters per year throughout most of the 20th century. In urban settings along the US coastline, rising seas threaten infrastructures necessary for local jobs and regional industries. Road, water supplies, power plants, and much more are at risk of the rising sea levels. Even in our own home, we have seen an increase in hurricanes and land erosion. Communities are simply disappearing. This is not okay.
Attending an all-girls school has allowed us to discover our passions for both the environment and empowering women. As the co-presidents of the Global Awareness Club, we can educate our community on current global economic, political, and environmental issues and explore long-term solutions. We aim to remove these obstacles through the funding of global relief programs, such as All Hands on Heart, Shelter Box, and Red Cross. In our school, we've completely removed plastic water bottles and organized activities like making reusable bags out of old shirts and biodegradable garbage sites.
Climate change is solely an obstacle in women's push to escape being pigeonholed back into domestic roles. We believe that any amount of contribution to the climate change movement is a contribution to the empowerment of women, because ultimately, a harmonious society can be only achieved through gender equality.
Now, let's bring our first panelists in and begin our discussion with our first question.
How is the environmental issue impacting your activism as a girl?
Okay, so here at St. Dominic's, the problem is not really based on gender, but how we are a rural school. And here there's a certain setup, how in the rural area, there's the village head, and then there are people under him. So back here, the villagers believe that they have to burn for new life. So they are always burning around St. Dominic's. So it'd be hard to approach the village head as a minor and as a girl and tell them that, no, this is not right, because they believe that it's better to burn for you to gain something. So it's a matter of this, the status that we have, how this is a rural school and how we have to follow some protocols.
Yes, as you said, it's more like about the age. Age is what limits us as girls also. So you can't really tell an older person to pick up a paper because it seems as if it's being disrespectful. But also, like what Ashley also said, it's hard as girls, like in the rural areas, to be always doing something about the environment because the society believes that girls should only be doing household chores, fetching water, cleaning around, and there's no time to actually be catering more about the environment when you're always doing inside household chores.
Thank you. What are you doing to bring about change in your environment?
So change starts with me, and change starts with you. So I had to make caring about the environment a fun thing to do because it's not always about those tests and bags, picking up paper. But if you pick up paper, listening to music, maybe telling each other stories about what's happening in life, it's much easier to care about the environment.
Yes, Ashley. Okay, so back here it's in Dominic's. We have the Santa Environmental Club. So we host campaigns, for example, the Aquaman right here. So it was all about conserving water and stuff like that. And we also have a tree planting day on the first day of December, on the first Saturday of December. And as Zimbabwe, there is the National Cleanup Day that is held every first Friday of the month. So the Santa Environmental Club basically celebrate that day and you just move around cleaning the area. We leave our school and then, yeah.
As we are part of the Santa Environment Advocates, we tend to have projects such as recycling plastic bottles and sell them to recycling companies in order to gain some money. So when we get the money, we then buy seedlings for different trees, then educate each other.
Excuse me, get closer to the microphone on the other computer. You might, because we're not hearing you. Thank you.
Okay, so like I was saying, as we are part of the Santa Environment Advocates, we have been starting on projects such as collecting plastic bottles or plastic waste and recycling them by selling them to recycling companies to gain some money. So when you get the money, we then buy some seedlings, tree seedlings, then educate each other on what are the benefits and on which how we can grow these trees. When they are now better or when they are now at a stage of growing, we then create a tree nursery to then donate such trees. So I can show you some of the trees in our nursery to the part of the surrounding community so that they can actually learn a thing or two from these trees and then start also caring about the environment. So this is Then we also have the indigenous fig tree. Yeah.
And then sometimes we join other schools like the Mazwe Boys Eye. And so this other one time we joined the Mazwe Boys Eye and we went around the village and planting trees and stuff like that. So yeah.
This question's for Anna. How is the environmental issue impacting your activism as a girl, and what are you doing to bring change in your environment specifically?
Hello everyone, I'm Arna. So thank you for that question. As we know, climate change leads to floods, droughts, and untimely rain. This leads to scarcity of food, water, and energy resources. This impacts women and children in many different ways. So first of all, women are supposed to travel long distances to gather these important resources. That is why they miss out on school and cannot study and usually drop out of school. They are unable to take up employment opportunities and cannot do anything of their choice in their free time. It is important to note that in developing countries, the financial pressure which is created by climate change offers the poor families no choice but to marry off their daughters at a very young age, which sometimes leads to human trafficking. Lastly, Scarcity of food leads to lack of nutrition in women and children. This leads to health related diseases. What I'm doing, well, as far as I can remember, as soon as I got aware about the perils of single use plastic, I started doing my bit for my second mother, my Mother Earth. It all started when I was 7 and I came across this very gruesome image of a dog whose neck was stuck on in a plastic bottle and it died because of suffocation. So this image haunted me for days. And I bothered my parents to no end trying to understand why did something like this happen. I could not imagine such a thing happening because I have a dog of my own and I could not imagine this happening to him. So I decided I had to do something about it. And I started my campaign, Plastic Shunya. I chose this title because in Hindi, which is the national language of India, it means zero. So Shunya means zero. So it actually means plastic zero. So I started out by Sunday weekly cleanup drives in Sanjay 1, which is a forest reserve in South Delhi. My cleanup drives see increased participation from friends, family, and the local community. Also, I have been doing workshops, cleanup drives, and rallies with students from all across India. I have engaged more than 2,000 kids, and with them, I have collected more than 1,400 kgs of single use plastic. And so a few months ago, I and my father came up with this idea of creating footwear out of repurposed single use plastic bottles that I have been collecting. So let me show you a glimpse of my shoes. The upper part of my shoe is made out of repurposed single use plastic bottles, and the sole of my shoe is made out of old used rubber tires, which have been cut into the required sizes. To so to design the shoe, it took several months of rigorous research, multiple brainstorming sessions with my father, and unending meetings with the cobbler, and we finally did it. We have come up with our first lot of eco-friendly repurposed shoes that are made out of single-use plastic bottles. But I firmly believe what I'm doing is just a drop in the ocean. We need more and more climate warriors to fight climate change. So I urge each one of you to come forward and make our planet plastic shunya. Thank you.
Thank you, Arna. As a follow-up question, do you think that educating girls about climate change will be more impactful in creating future climate-conscious generations?
Yes, absolutely. It's important to educate everybody about the climate change and the perils of single-use plastic.
For Tara and Ashley, what gaps are you experiencing as far as girls' rights are concerned?
Okay, so what Tyra had said, here back in Zimbabwe, there's gender discrimination, whereby people believe that girls are restricted to household chores, they're supposed to be doing this and that. So it would be difficult to see a girl being an activist because it's more like something a guy would be considered like something that a guy would be like what they would expect a guy to do. And here there's the issue with child marriage. The law doesn't agree, but there are certain religions that believe that you can marry off a girl at 14. So some girls are now forced to drop out of school because of child marriage.
Also, there's an issue of whereby in the rural areas, they do not have enough disposable income. Sanitary ware is seen as a luxury.
Please get closer to the microphone on the computer. We're missing your wonderful insights.
Okay. Like I was saying, in the rural areas, maybe around Chishawasha, for instance, sanitary ware is
I'm really sorry to be interrupting again. Ashley, it'll be really beneficial if you just shift towards Tararo. That'll help. She's audible and you're not. If you could shift towards her, yes, that'll help. Thank you.
yes. So because of lack of enough sanitary ware is seen as a luxury for those in the rural
We can't hear you. Change places. Change places.
Like I was saying, due to lack of disposable income for those who are staying in rural areas, sanitary ware is seen as a luxury. So when girls menstruate during the school term, some can't attend school, or rather they would miss school because they can't attend it due to the technicalities of that they don't have sanitary wear. So they could go for like 1 week not going to school and miss some of the lessons. So it's like 3 weeks a full term not going to school because they don't have menstrual wear. So this like limits the power they can have over the surrounding environment, because someone can actually know that this person is having difficulties in getting sanitary wear because she hasn't been coming to school. So that limits our power in terms of like fighting for the environment if we have such circumstances in our different schools. Yes.
How does contributing to climate justice help girls attend schools, do you think?
Pardon?
Sorry, how does contributing to climate justice help girls attend school and educating girls?
Okay, so like what Anna had said before, that we have to educate more girls so that we can fight this issue of climate change. But because attendance in schools is really that much due to these problems in getting sanitary wear, it means that attendance will be lesser for these girls. So it's not every girl is going to be with us when you're trying to fight this problem of climate change. So if we could improve such situations, we can therefore empower these girls so that they feel more better in their skin. When they have everything intact, then we can then fight. So it's like trying to first discover themselves, help themselves within, then they can then start spreading this to other people.
Thank you. Now we have a question for Arna. Is your government mostly run by men or women? And do you think that having more women within your government would make a change?
Yes, so my government in India is mostly run by men. Very few women are there in the parliament. So I think if there are more women, more girls will think that we need to go to school so we can be like, oh, that lady, she's in the parliament, she is in the news. So I think it's very important for women, some women, to at least be in the parliament and in important positions. So yes.
This question is for Tara and Ashley. Is there anyone you specifically look up to as a role model for either women empowerment or climate change activism?
Okay, so for me, mine is more of women empowerment. So,
Change places. Change places.
okay, so mine is more of women empowerment. So I'm currently doing sciences and I'm doing maths, physics, and chemistry. So I'm aspiring to be a mechanical engineer. So there's this company in Zimbabwe which has mining engineers. So I look up to the girls there because there are only 3 girls so far and they were taken in just last year. So yeah, I look up to those girls.
For me personally, it's like girl empowerment, because the person is still a teenager but has just reached the age of being an adult soon enough. So there's this girl called Renee Tapumane. She's an ex-student among the rest. She went overseas to Mauritius, I guess. So when she was here, she'd always pick up paper, close tapes, switch off lights, even when no one else is doing it. So that then inspired me to always also follow in her footsteps. And then she made it fun. So yeah, That's where I got my inspiration. And yeah.
And Anna, where did you get your inspiration from, or are there any idols you look up to?
Yes, so my inspiration comes from climate change, and the one word is Greta Thunberg. I am so fascinated by her. She's so young, and I really like one of her quotes. Quotes is like, "You're never too small to make a difference." And whenever I think something's impossible, I always remember that, and I'm able to do it.
This next one's also for Anna. Have you seen within your own school the effect of your own business that you created with your sandals? Have you seen inspiration from other kids?
Yes, I've been doing workshops. So other girls also know about my shoes and they're like, Anna, make me a pair as well. So I'm just trying to figure out the sizes.
And is there, for the sandals specifically, do you think that benefited your country your community specifically? And do you think the same concept can be used globally to help with the plastic issue?
Yes, so actually it all happened because I was thinking that I'm collecting all the plastic bottles, right? But I'm disposing it and then it'll land up in a landfill, or if it's being recycled, all the smoke that's coming out is still harmful and that'll cause global warming. So I decided to use it in a better way. And then I started repurposing the single-use plastic bottles and made my shoes. So I think it has affected my community a lot, and I think it'll affect people globally as well. So I have 100 idols of women, and I want to give all of them one. So right now I'm like about my 70th person. So yeah.
Tyra and Ashley, do you guys have any projects in school that you've enacted that have helped with the climate justice movement?
Okay, so currently we have our nursery back at Santa. So like the trees that we showed you. So we basically donate the trees to other schools, other places, and we take care of the trees.
Then we have 3 cages. This is whereby we sort the papers, the plastic bottles, the tins, then the plastic material, the paper material. So this gives an advantage to our groundsmen so that when they come to refuse this waste, they can easily do it. So on Fridays we go, we then sort the plastic out, the tins, the whatever. We once made bins out of the small drinking bottles. So we then donated some of these bins around the community.
Yes, and what Taro said about how we sometimes sell, okay, here it is a boarding school. So we take the bottles and then we sell the bottles to recycling companies. So then the money we'll use it to buy recycling bins for our school, for example. We bought recycling bins.
This question's for Anna. Do you have any other plans for future upcycling projects or innovations?
Yes, so I want to continue what I'm doing with making my shoes, and I want to make more and more items and educate people more about the perils of single-use plastic. So I was thinking about making bags next, and dustbins also made out of single-use plastic. So yes, that's what I was thinking to do in the future.
Tyra and Ashley, do you have any future plans as well?
Our current project, which is upcoming, is a biogas digester. This is whereby we're converting waste into gas energy for the use in kitchens, also lighting, whatever.
So we are currently making our biogas digester. So we basically just taking the waste from the cows, and then you know like how methane will be produced. So the gas will use it in the kitchen, and in that way we'll be saving electricity in the kitchen because yeah.
For Anna, what would you like to ask the world leaders to do to address climate justice?
Yes, so I would like a complete ban of single-use plastic because that is harming our environment the most. And I would also like them to add this in the school's curriculum so that children can get educated because they go to the schools, they learn everything, but maybe just one chapter about how to conserve our environment. It should be from the beginning of the curriculum, and that's why there should be more, more cleanup drives and and there should be more people talking about perils of single-use plastic and more teachers teaching about it because it is a very important issue in the world.
Do you have any advice for girls worldwide who feel passionate about climate justice?
Yes, so I want all of them to come forward and make up Planet Plastic Shunya because in the end of the day, you're never too small to make a difference. And I want to tell each one of them that you should speak up wherever you are, and you should always educate more and more people about the perils of single-use plastic.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything else to share about their climate justice journey? Tyra and Ashley, do you have any last message?
Okay. So personally, as a person who started this environmental activism when I was 13, I feel like it may seem as if the change is not there, but then, yeah, baby steps, we'll get there at some point. Because I'll give an example of my friends. Like how some people, when they are brushing their teeth, they'll just leave the tape open. So I always told them that, guys, when you're brushing it, just close the tap and then open the tap later and just not leave the water running just like that. So ever since all my classmates, they always close their taps. So I feel like it might seem as if nothing's happening, but then the change is there. So slowly we'll get there.
For me, the environment is for everyone, but because change starts with me, but it also impacts the next person. So when you pick up the paper, the next person will be pushed also to also pick up the next paper. So so guys, don't be afraid to venture into ways that can help the environment. If it's funding, do something else to increase the funds, then our environment will be a better place.
Okay, thank you so much, Tara and Ashley and Anna, for your insightful words about climate justice. And thank you for our sponsors today.